What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Dude Jaxn, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. I really want to draw your attention to Mr. Derrick Jaxn. Now, while we're talking about Derrick Jaxn, he is a relationship coach. He has never rebounded from the thrashing that Tasha K left him last year, and he is a fraud, from what we understand. But Derrick Jaxn, although he has a major decline on YouTube, he has held somewhat of a following on Facebook. Okay, and Derrick Jaxn is the one that was saying that single mothers are for grown men only, and things like that, and what is the real value of a high value man, kind of simping and things like that. But you know what? Even Derrick Jaxn is starting to sound like he's getting red pilled, because there are things he's tired of. Okay, and listen to what he said on Instagram. Day music. I'm shocked by how many single women are in bed by 7 and 8 p.m. every night. Are women too comfortable being alone? All right. And then you see the person who runs on site, which must be a female. She says this: "Day music. It's an issue if we stay out all night, and it's an issue if we go to bed early. Child, we can't do ish." All right. And it's a lot of people that are commenting on this and all of that. And I want to just say this, okay? Why are women in bed 7, 8 p.m. every night? And why are they comfortable being alone? And I don't want to offend anybody out there in the world today, but this is my honest opinion. So for a lot of women out there, black women in particular, they have the opportunities to date. What I have found out is that some black women will settle, but some people may have a hard time with that. Which means that a lot of black women, because women are hypergamous, they want to date above, where they are. Whether that's social class, whether that's, economics and things like that. They want to kind of, date where they're above their pay grade. This is similar amongst all women. And what may happen is that they may be able to get some flings with some of these guys. It may lead to a few dates. It may lead to a few dinners. It may lead to a few beautiful sounds. It may lead to that, but it might not lead to anything that's a commitment. Because a lot of times men of this caliber may have a lot of different options. All right. So what happens with African American women, you'll hear that saying, "I can do bad all by myself." So some women in the black community will go at it alone. All right. Now, we've seen Kevin Samuel's show. We've seen certain levels of entitlement, and you've seen women who will come on and be like 5'6", 200 pounds, and then they will ask, what do they need to do to get a man? And he may insinuate that, hey, maybe you might want to lose some weight. You want to work on yourself and compete. And you get a lot of pushback when Kevin talks to women like this. They don't like it. They don't like to hear, what's really important. And so when they don't want to hear that, and they don't feel like they want to put that effort in, some women are willing to hang it up. They'll go to bed at 7 to 8 o'clock at night. And, and they're just going to go ahead and make an excuse. Like you hear Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige is going out talking about she's her own best friend. You'll hear this, "I can do bad all by myself." Or you'll start to hear, all black men are gay, or all they do is cheat and all this. And these are usually excuses for why that they can't get the man that they want. And the reality is that a lot of ladies in the black community want to make this, well, I don't want to date right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to sleep because, none of these guys are worth dating. And that's the kind of sentiment, if I could date, I would. The reality is that you can't in certain cases. And I've been hearing that for a long time. I can get anybody that I see. I can have any dude if I want my fingers. And the reality is, no, you can't. No, you can't. Because if you could, then you would. You can't, so you ain't. You ain't. Shout out to Manny Fresh. Many of these women have went to bed at this time and not, and understand they're going to be alone because the guy that's out there, she can't get. And she's not willing to put in the work for said guy. Let me say it again. She doesn't want to put in the work for said guy. That is the fundamental difference between, I think, black men and black women. Typically, if black men want to date African-American women and we want to date some of the better ones, you're going to see us doing the long-term effort goals. Acquiring the skills, doing the things you need to do, the professional school route, you see the entrepreneurial route. We already understand that in order to get the kind of woman that we want, what she's going to look like, it's going to take some effort, it's going to take some time. Right? But what you're seeing with a lot of black women there is, listen, I'm not losing the weight if I don't need to. I'm not going to change my attitude. Okay? These are my standards. I'm not settling for less, which is a phrase that they like to use. And I'm going to just stay here until God send me a man. Well, that never happens. And what happens is they ended up, having these little flings with these little, Pookies and Ray Rays or some guy, that they would never deal with in public. And that's how it happens. And Derrick Jaxn doesn't understand this. The reality is, Derrick, that you won't tell them the truth. And they're never going to be able to learn anything from a guy like you who's pandering. Okay? If women want quality men, if they want to put themselves in a situation where they get a good man that can do something for them, they're going to have to put in the work. Life is what you get out of it. And there's no funny ass course you can sell, Derrick, to make them change differently, because that's the reality. They've actually bought that stuff. And see, you can't sell that shit anymore, because the reality is, Derrick, in order for you to do business, you need black women to believe they can find love in the dating market to buy something from you. But right now, a lot of them black women have given up on dating because they're like, you know what? We're not gonna get what I want anyway, and I don't want to change. So you know what? I'm cool. It's just like female MGTOWs. You can call them WGTOWs. Women going their own way, right? And it's sad but it's true. There's some women in the United States right now. You have women who are having kids less, choosing to be single less. And I think that choice has been made for them because that the standards they have can't be met. And if the standards that you have can't be met, you can have them all day long. That don't mean that somebody is going to actually adhere to them. Like, for example, I can think that I deserve to be on the Lakers playing point guard. I can think that until I'm blue in the face. Don't mean that it's going to happen, though, does it? Hell no. Okay? Hell no to the no. I can think it all day. I can think it until I'm blue in the face. The reality is that it's not going to happen. I should be more realistic in that. And a lot of sisters who want to date and their standards are maybe too high, maybe your standards are out of whack, boo. Maybe you need somebody a little bit more on your level. And then as you improve yourself, you and that person can improve upwards together or something like that. Okay? Maybe sometimes, when you're first starting out and you want to live in a neighborhood, maybe you can't live in Beverly Hills, your first house. Maybe you start off somewhere else and then you build on yourself and work your way up. But nobody wants to do that. There's no different for women who actually want a guy and can't get him. Then you have to date what you have to date. But someone say, nope, if I can't have a Lamborghini as the first car, I'll walk. So they're walking. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jaxn, back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains all time high. I'm out.